Hey, what's up, you guys? As you might have already heard, there are a lot of advertisers who are boycotting Facebook ads for the month of July. First of all, there's a campaign called Stop Hate for Profit. And essentially what's happening is a bunch of civil liberties organizations are getting together and they are campaigning to get advertisers to stop advertising for an entire month on Facebook. And it's not just Facebook, the platform, it's the family of apps. So we're talking about Instagram here, we're talking about WhatsApp, we're talking about Messenger, basically anything that's tied to the business. And the reason why is because there is what they believe a lot of hate speech and content that's on the platform that's malicious and toxic, and they're fed up with it. And these organizations have been working with Facebook now for a couple of years to try to guide them in implementing policies that can help protect the rights and liberties of people. So what's happened over this time is that Facebook has actually made some efforts to reduce that hate speech content, to reduce the racist and content that might incite violence on the platform. And I think it was somewhere around 20% at some point, and in the last couple of years, they've gotten it to the point that almost 90% of the hate speech and the toxic content is removed before people even see it. Now, the problem is that they're grading their own homework. They're submitting these reports themselves, so we actually don't know if in fact that's actually true. And if you know anything about Facebook's history here in the United States or even globally, you'll know that, the company has had a few slip-ups in the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, there was a situation where they were inflating video metrics for advertisers. So if you were running campaigns and you saw that people were watching, 50% of your video, or if your cost per view was like 4 cents, they were actually inflating those metrics. And they knew that they were doing this. I'm not exactly sure why they were doing this. Maybe it was to get more ad dollars. It's hard to really speculate. Maybe it was a mistake. But at some point, they got sued for this. And this is not the first time these kinds of things has happened. Obviously, the big one being the Cambridge Analytica, where there were people who were data mining people's information and then using that for a political campaign, for a political benefit, which was crazy because now in the U.S., we have a president that potentially we might have not had if Russians wouldn't have interfered with our election and if this data wasn't extracted from the platform for a political purpose. So Facebook doesn't necessarily have a great track history with trust from the public. So you can imagine if they're submitting these reports that are saying that we're getting 90% of the hate speech off of the platform, you can imagine advertisers might be a little hesitant to believe that information is accurate. So that is what's happening. Right now, there's a lot of big advertisers from Coca-Cola to Verizon to Unilever that are saying we're not going to give you any money. And now you might be thinking, is this having any impact on the company? It actually is. So as of Friday, June 25th, I believe, there was an 8% drop in their stock. What does that mean? That means that the company lost $56 billion of their value in one single day because guess what? Most of their money comes from advertising. So when big advertisers like Unilever, that I believe is maybe the 33 largest spender on the platform, says, I'm not going to give you any money for an entire month. And then all these other brands say, well, we're not going to give you any month either. Oh, wow. How are you guys going to make money this month? So it is having an impact. It's even having an impact on Mark Zuckerberg's personal finance because he's lost over $7 billion in one day to his net worth. So it is having an impact. Now, what I want to do, just to give you a little bit more context of all right, well, what are these organizations demanding Facebook to do? I want to show you guys a quick clip that I found that's basically outlining what is expected of Facebook to do in order for them for these advertisers and this campaign to be satisfied.
Well, for years, we and others have called on Facebook to change, and they haven't. I mean, they've really prioritized profits and reach over people and the safety of their users. So there are several very specific, clear things we want them to do. First, we want them to be accountable. They should be providing audits and refunds to advertisers whose ads are shown next to content that was removed because it violated the terms of service.
I just want to pause that real quick and let you know, if your ads are showing next to like extremist content or hateful content, your brand is being considered in that context. So you might be running an e-com campaign trying to get a sale, but if people keep seeing your ads next to, like, I don't know, nudity or people fighting, there's an association that they're going to have with that content and your brand. So it doesn't necessarily benefit you long term.
They should submit to regular third-party independent audits of how they're dealing with hate on the platform. Self-reporting isn't very useful when the author has a vested interest in what they're sharing. We want them to focus on the safety of their users, right? Remove public and private groups, focus on white supremacy and anti-Semitism and racism and violent conspiracies. And when people are harassed on Facebook, there should be a mechanism to give them the support that they need, like every other business does. So this is indeed about accountability, it's about transparency, it's about safety, and ultimately, it's about leadership.
So there you have it. That's what they're asking for. They want meaningful change. They don't want Facebook to be self-reporting the information. They want a third party to come in and be independent. And actually, in the midst of this boycott, that's actually one of the things Facebook has finally agreed to. They said, all right, we're not going to grade our own homework. We're going to let a third party come in and actually take a look at our data and our information and give this more transparency. So it's proving that this campaign, this boycott of Facebook ads, is actually having an impact. Now, if you are an advertiser, again, you're going to ask yourself, what can I do right now? I'm not going to give you that answer. It's not my place to say if you should boycott Facebook ads or not. That's up to you to determine if it's in line with your principles, your values of your brand and your company. That's a decision for you to make. However, I do want to give you some tactical tips if you do decide that you need to pause your ads. So what can you do right now? The first thing I would do is take a look at other channels that you've historically ran paid ads on that have driven similar outcomes and potentially consider moving some of the budgets in that direction. Another thing you could do, of course, is maybe you take a step back in the month of July, but then maybe Q4 or holiday or another time of the year, you ramp up that extra budget that you might have. And of course, the last one is if there are any new channels that you want to test, any new programs, maybe take some of the money you have that you would have allocated to Facebook, test these new programs, and then, the other percentage of that money you could either, evaluate pushing it into another channel such as Google search or some kind of paid affiliate program or some influencer marketing, or you could take that extra 70% or 80% and put it into another month. So these are some of the things that you could do right now. Again, I'm not giving you a recommendation what to do, but if you did decide to join this boycott, these are some ways where you could be proactive with your programs and your dollars. Hey guys, I'm excited to announce that we're launching Market and Hustle, the podcast. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, it's going to be a continuation of the content. We're going to be simplifying digital marketing, and we're just going to be going deeper into tactics and strategies and unpacking them a little bit further in a conversational format with different guests that are going to be part of the show. My cousin Juan, the editor of the videos, he's going to be the co-host with me, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you'll join us. You'll be able to hear it on Spotify and also Apple Podcasts. And we'll of course be posting some of the clips on the YouTube channel. So we really hope that you'll tune in and get a ton of value, and hopefully it'll help you accelerate your business growth. Peace.